listen, when the kids come to school and they put in the survey some of the questions that really are of high level, it's not necessarily coming from the student. It's coming from the parent, right? And I get that. It's very stressful. So some of the things that we're going to put in that packet are a letter of the traffic patterns that we're going to expect. We're going to put in orientation days for our students when those orientation days are scheduled. We're talking about for Teacher Institute in the fall of dedicating a day when the parents can come in and they can meet with their teachers in a very relaxed atmosphere, a very loose atmosphere where they can bring in their supplies, get to know one another. We're talking about, or what may be in the packet is the ability for you to go in that building and see what it's like as a parent if it's new to you, so that you become acclimated to the environment, so that you can walk it, so that you can do a tour. So those are some of the things that we're going to look up to put into the packet. But we're not going to make it too complex because, if I send you a packet full of 30 sheets, you get to the third sheet and it's already out. So we're going to keep it very simple, very concise, and we're going to look for the Facebook, we're going to look for the Twitter, and the teachers are going to do a fabulous job. I'm as sure as I'm sitting here. They're going to present to the kids, and the kids are going to be having this information in the near future. I would say within the next week and a half. And so you're going to start to hear some information getting out there. But remember, it's one of these situations where I know some of the questions that are coming in right now, I have to be able to answer when I go to those open forums some of the other questions because I have to be able to put the parents' mind at ease because this is very difficult to say the least.
And then when you met with Chief Disselhorst, how was his feeling as far as the 10-minute staggered start time? Did he feel that this was feasible?
He did not give an opinion. He did not give an opinion. We both agreed that we don't do traffic. And we both agreed that we're not going to tell people what streets to use because I don't want the residents coming after me, and I think he doesn't want the residents coming after him either. So you as a parent are going to do what's best for you. And the only thing we wholeheartedly agree with is the traffic patterns around the school are great. I've had no complaints on the traffic around either school. None. None. Not since I've been here. Not since I've been here. So unless someone sends me the next couple of days or so, but I've had no complaints.
I'm sure you'll receive something.
Yeah, I should have got that.
I have one more.
Oh, you're joking.
Sorry.
Yes.
In the past, and this is more towards, in the past, it's been always discussed as far as classrooms for the kids not to be allowed to watch movies and to have classroom time and for the teacher time. And so it's just confusing to me that we're going to allow the kids now to pack boxes overnight when allowing them to watch movies. Thought that was
This is news to me too, so I heard it the same time that you heard it.
Well, that's why I brought it up. If the board doesn't agree with that, then I need to know in advance because I'm being asked this question. I heard a young lady speak at a previous, who works at another district that's nearby, that when they make these transitions, that they have to get help from the kids in some circumstances. If we don't believe that's the case, then I need to know. Because it's important that the superintendent support the teachers, but I need to know that the board supports the superintendent. That's why I'd rather say this out loud than go down a path that you're hearing about it in the classroom. Because then I'm going to get 7 phone calls, and that's not.
Well, I think kids still need to be able to watch movies sometimes with their teachers, and that there's a purpose for it, and that it can't always be all. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that in the past, I know that's been an issue with teachers being told not to allow movies in their classroom, and so now for it to be packing boxes, I think that we're kind of going on,
And let me be clear, maybe I was a little bit hyperbolic. They're not going to have 50 boxes sitting there. and they're just
I'm
going to be
hoping that
right?
it's not going to be like a sweatshop going in the classroom. But
that's why I want to be clear because
exactly.
I said a lot of things, and so sometimes I have to bring clarity to what I said. What I'm imagining is that they may designate 1 or 2 days where they may be able to pack a box or 2 over time. And take a look at things that they can keep. They can pass off to one of their colleagues, or that they can throw out because we no longer need to use it. But I'm not saying that we're just going to throw all the curriculum out the window and we're not going to learn from this point forward because that's not what we do. But I need to be able to share with my teachers that this is what we can do, and this is what's fair and makes sense. And I wouldn't disagree with the movies. I think it's I think it's a different issue, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed at a future date and time.
Maybe that's something that the teachers should make the decision on, like, if there's students who, they know the kids, so if they think their kids will receive that well, then do it. If they have a problem, then we have to have other provisions for them.
But I think too, Cindy, you know, in the past, we heard it more on a lot of occasions where, you know, the kids would come home and we'd say, oh, what'd you do today? And they said, oh, we watched a movie. Packing is gonna be a one-time thing. It's not gonna be a reoccurring thing every summer.
Right, but I also think
But-
we know that
But I
when
think we
kids
would be
say,
a little,
"What'd you do
I think we would be a
today?"
little
I played a
lenient
game.
as, you know, to
But when
allow
kids
that to
say,
happen.
"What'd you do today?" I played a game, but to a teacher, it could be
I mean,
that
we
game
should
is an
really just
educational game.
move
So I
on
mean,
to
it's
the
not.
experience.
So I think what I'll do is I'll give the board a proposal on what we think is the best approach that's reasonable. And
I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page so that there's no
That's exactly how I feel, the same exact way. Cindy. That's
no
why I'd rather just
surprises
say it
for
out loud.
anybody.
I get it, I agree.
I had one question. I'm sorry, were you?
Christian was next.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
sorry.
Oh, but you can
No,
go
go
ahead. Yeah, that's fine. You spoke about open forum, spoke about meeting with the P&T and the staff. Do you have a predetermined dates already in mind? So we can communicate it to them and kind of give the community and the parents a heads up.
So it sounds like we're on the same page. I think we should set up a communication meeting
So I'm
and we
saying-
should talk about that.
Okay,
And I think we should talk about the formats and the things we want.
all right.
The step and the PTA is a no-brainer because it's the first Tuesday of the month. So of course I have to ask their permission. I'm not going to
Sure.
just you know put myself in their agenda because they may have other issues. But I would make a request to both the presidents for the first meeting in May. But that's just one piece of it. The other one that you, Jennifer, and I can talk about.
Sure.
You know, what are some things that you would like to see, and I could share
The structure.
some of the fruits of our labor where we're at right now.
All right, I think we can do that.
Sure.
What's your question?
Okay, I had a question about, in the feasibility study, it says in April that the contract and procure moving, has that been
Yes.
started? I mean, I know there's boxes out, but
Yes.
who's actually going,
So this is where we're at. We have the boxes. We have the tape. We've priced out 3 vendors, and I'm in the process of reviewing the pricing of the 3 vendors. And so it's under the bidding requirement that we're required to fulfill statutorily. So we're going to work with the lowest responsible bidder, irrespective of the actual bidding process. So in this particular instance, there's the bidding, but there's also a request for proposals. So this is more of a request for proposals from 3 moving companies. Okay.
and the other question I had is about going back to the traffic. It's surprising that you haven't heard any complaints about the traffic because I hear quite a bit about it. Is this something that there's a consideration that will be an ongoing looked at kind of an issue because this is a whole new ballgame. And if there are issues this year, and I think that less parents are driving this year than will next year because of getting from one school to the next school or possibly a third school, I can't see it getting any better. And I want to make sure that this is something that's an ongoing, regularly looked at kind of a thing because it's too easy for a kid to get hurt out there.
I agree. That's a good point. This is something we will regularly look at, absolutely. And I want to get back to what you said, Cindy. You know, the time between the buildings. And I've shared this. I've had parents call me and they've told me, I don't know if I'm going to have time to get between the 2 buildings. And I've asked the parent, what time does school start? And some of the responses I've gotten, 8:20. School doesn't start at 8:20. Parents are going to do their best. We're respectful of parents' lives. We know they work very hard. They are going to do what's best for them. They're going to drop their child off safely. That's priority number 1. And so we have a lot of people who are truant. We have a lot of people who are absent. I see the report every day. And there's a lot of truant. Get to school safe. That's the number 1 priority. And so if it takes you more time, we understand. We're going to work with you. And so I want to be
Then
very
is
clear.
that, which I mean is a good answer as far as we want to make sure they're safe, but at what point should we be getting, you know, that I know you don't do traffic, we certainly don't do traffic. If Chief Disselhurst is saying he doesn't do traffic, who does traffic?
You can pay for a traffic study if
I
you
mean,
choose. You could pay for a traffic study. There are companies
So-
that actually do this for a living.
I mean, at some point, that might be something that I don't have to worry about, but you guys might want to worry about and have a traffic study and pay for it, because before they changed the traffic pattern around, there was kids crossing in front of cars. I mean, it was insane, and the fact that no kids got hit was a miracle. So, I mean, I just think that there's got to be someone out there in the world that does a traffic study, and that might be something we want to look into.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Dr. O'Malley. We'll go to board committees. Board policy and development, nothing to report. Buildings and grounds.
We have to schedule
Our next committee meeting with our extended members of our team.
and go through the moving process.
Any questions for the buildings and grounds? Thank you. Academic advisor for student excellence, nothing to report. Negotiations, nothing to report. Finance,
To report.
Park District.
Warner and I met together as a committee with Dr. O'Malley. We reviewed the contract from the past contract, and we're going to discuss it further in closed sessions later at the end of tonight's meeting. We weren't able to finish our discussion in the previous closed session.
Thank you. Communications,
So, March 31st, we had a board meeting, meeting results. We went over the slides that Dr. O'Malley presented the following day, a better understanding of District 50 financial situation. We had about 25 people participated, 25 to 30 of us say, this ballpark, in very nice and safe environment. We sent our message out there. So, and now on the dates, we're going to get together and set up a time review and
Please.
to make sure that the proper information is communicated out there, and we use every possible resource that we have at our disposal.
Absolutely.
That's it.
questions? For your two communication meetings that you had on March 31st and April 1st,
Sure.
when can we expect the minutes? Because we have it on the agenda to approve, but there's no minutes attached.
Sure, you're right. We will tomorrow at some point. We'll get them in.
Great, thank you. The IASB delegate, Mike.
We have to, Sarah and I have to finish up a few things. May 10th is the governance board meeting. We'll be meeting at Giles. And that's when the governance board of the West Forty will get together, and we'll decide about the spring dinner and fall dinner and what we're going to be talking about at those dinners.
Thank you.
So, and if anybody has any other suggestions, I don't know if there's only going to the schools. We found it more educational, and the groups of board members really appreciated going to the different schools to see what they were doing and how they were doing their programs and stuff. So I think it helped out a lot. So
When we went to that last one, it was valuable because that
Yeah.
school actually did a transition to grade centers.
great
and we
centers, and they
actually,
did well.
You know, we learned a lot from that effort.
Yeah, Barbara Dahl, District 89.
Great, thank you. The IASB liaison, nothing to report. Old business. I got a couple of items for new business. One is training. So Dr. O'Malley reached out to Perry Hill, our ISAB representative, and we set 2 dates for training that please mark your calendars for. One is May 11th, and the other one is May 18th. Might want to write down those training dates. And then the other part that we need to discuss today is setting our reorg meeting and what dates or what date that we have to do it. The law says that you can't have it. You have to be at least 21 days after the election, which the first day that we could do it, I believe, is the 25th, and or 28 days is the last day because the person takes office on the 28th day, which would be, I believe, May 2nd.